In the far future, humanity has become a symbol of peace and diplomacy, leaving behind the violent tendencies that once defined them. Among the stars, humans are known not for their strength, but for their ability to mediate and negotiate, often resolving conflicts that other species find insurmountable. They've forged alliances, maintained trade networks, and built a reputation as a race of intellectuals and creators. Other species admire humanity's knack for innovation, their ability to create and adapt, but they also see them as physically inferior. In a galaxy dominated by species with advanced technology and impressive physical prowess, humans are considered fragile. Their peaceful demeanor and reliance on diplomacy make them seem weak in the eyes of those more accustomed to solving disputes with force. Still, humanity's reputation as problem solvers keeps them in good standing. There are, however, whispers among the stars. Not all species respect the human way. Many view their peaceful approach as a sign of weakness, and one of the most dangerous among them is the Zorik Empire. A race of warlike conquerors, the Zorik thrive on domination, expanding their empire by enslaving or destroying weaker species. They have observed humanity from afar, taking note of their peaceful ways, and they've come to a chilling conclusion: humans are ripe for conquest. The Zorik see no threat in humanity. To them, humans are nothing more than an unarmed, isolated race, focused on diplomacy and easily subdued. They believe that Earth can be conquered swiftly, with minimal resistance. No one expects humans to fight back in any meaningful way. After all, the galaxy has never seen humans take up arms in any significant capacity. It is assumed that they lack the capability and will to wage war. The decision is made. The Zorik prepare their fleets, determined to make Earth an example for the rest of the galaxy. In their eyes, a quick, brutal invasion will show other species what happens when a race dares to think it can stand on diplomacy alone. The invasion is not just about conquest, it's about asserting dominance. The Zorik want to remind everyone who the true power in the galaxy is, and humanity is their perfect target. On Earth, life goes on peacefully, unaware of the impending danger. Diplomats continue their work, scientists explore new technologies, and citizens live in comfort. The concept of war is something ancient, something that doesn't seem relevant to the modern human experience. Conflicts are solved through conversation, and violence is seen as a relic of the past. Earth's defense systems, while present, are minimal, designed more for show than actual deterrence. After all, who would want to invade a peaceful race like humanity? But the Zorik are coming, and they are unlike anything humanity has faced before. While humans have fought each other in their ancient history, they have never faced an enemy as ruthless and calculating as the Zorik. The galaxy watches, most believing that humanity's time has come, that they will fall without a fight. Earth is isolated, and no other species is willing to intervene in what seems like a doomed scenario. Humanity's allies remain silent, not wanting to provoke the Zorik or risk their own destruction by coming to the aid of a race that appears unable to defend itself. And so, the stage is set. The Zorik fleet begins its approach, confident in their superiority. They believe this will be a short campaign, a quick strike to claim Earth and enslave its people. The galaxy waits, anticipating the fall of humanity. The question on everyone's mind isn't whether Earth will fall, it's how fast it will happen. The Zorik expect minimal resistance, perhaps a few diplomatic pleas for peace, and a swift surrender. But they are wrong. What they fail to realize is that humanity's history, though largely forgotten, holds within it something ancient and terrifying, something that will soon awaken. And when it does, the galaxy will witness a side of humanity that no one, not even the humans themselves, knew still existed. The Zorik have no idea what they've just unleashed. The Zorik invasion begins without warning. Their fleet breaches Earth's atmosphere, and within hours, major cities are under siege. The human response is immediate, though entirely diplomatic at first. Peace envoys are sent in an attempt to halt the violence before it escalates. But the Zorik, confident in their superiority, ignore the pleas and push forward, unleashing waves of destruction. The cities of Earth are no match for the advanced weapons of the Zorik, and chaos erupts as civilians scramble to survive. On the surface, Earth's military forces attempt to mount a defense, but they are woefully outmatched. The technology gap between humans and the Zorik is too great, and Earth's minimal defenses crumble quickly. Soldiers, though trained, lack the experience to deal with an invasion of this magnitude. Panic spreads as command centers lose contact with outposts, and what was once a coordinated effort becomes a desperate struggle to hold ground. For the Zorik, this is exactly as they anticipated. Their forces sweep across the planet with ease, encountering little more than token resistance. Humanity, it seems, is fulfilling the role they expected, a weak, peaceful race, easily crushed under the weight of their superior military. They push deeper into human territories, capturing key locations and securing control. To them, it's only a matter of time before Earth fully submits. But something begins to shift. As the situation becomes increasingly dire, something stirs within a small number of humans on the front lines. Soldiers, backed into corners, begin to display an unexplainable surge of energy. Their reflexes sharpen, and they start making split-second decisions that seem beyond their normal capabilities. They begin to move with a precision and ferocity that takes even the Zorik by surprise. In the chaos of battle, these individuals seem to enter a state of heightened awareness, tapping into an ancient, primal instinct buried deep within their DNA. At first, it's subtle, one soldier here, another there. But as the fighting intensifies, more humans begin to exhibit these extraordinary abilities. They react faster, think sharper, and fight with a ruthless efficiency that seems out of place for a species that has long forgotten the ways of war. The Zorik commanders notice the change, but they dismiss it as a minor anomaly, believing that their forces still have the upper hand. Among the first to experience this transformation is Captain Mara Voss, a high-ranking diplomat who has been overseeing evacuation efforts in one of the besieged cities. When her team is cornered by Zorik forces, something inside her snaps. She feels an overwhelming surge of adrenaline and focus, her mind racing with combat strategies she shouldn't know. In a matter of minutes, she takes command of the scattered human forces around her, organizing a counterattack with tactical precision that seems almost instinctual. Under her leadership, what should have been a rout turns into a small but decisive victory. The human forces, inspired by Mara's sudden prowess, begin pushing back, using guerrilla tactics to outmaneuver the Zorik soldiers. The invaders, unprepared for this level of resistance, find themselves caught off guard. They expected humans to crumble, not fight back with such ferocity and cunning. Word of Mara's success spreads quickly, and across the globe, other humans begin experiencing similar awakenings. Soldiers, civilians, and even former diplomats like Mara start tapping into something ancient and powerful, something that had been dormant within them for centuries. It's not technology that's fueling their resurgence, it's instinct. Humanity's primal survival instincts, honed over millennia of conflict, have resurfaced, triggered by the existential threat posed by the Zorik invasion. Dr. Simon Reyes, a prominent human scientist, is the first to begin studying this phenomenon. As he observes the battles unfold, he notices a pattern. Those who are awakening seem to be drawing on genetic memories, accessing long-dormant traits from humanity's violent past. He theorizes that humans, having spent millennia in warfare, have evolved to suppress their warlike tendencies in times of peace, but under extreme threat, these tendencies resurface. Reyes begins to work with the military, attempting to find a way to activate this dormant potential in more humans. If they can unlock this power on a larger scale, humanity might stand a chance against the Zorik. He works tirelessly, developing methods to stimulate the awakening process, and soon, more and more soldiers begin exhibiting the same enhanced abilities as Mara Voss. Meanwhile, the Zorik, though still confident in their superiority, start to feel the strain of a prolonged invasion. The humans, who they expected to subdue quickly, are now proving to be far more resilient than anticipated. Reports come in from across the planet of humans fighting back with a level of skill and tenacity that no one, not even the humans themselves, had known they were capable of. Zorik commanders are perplexed by the sudden change in their enemies' tactics. They can't understand how a species so rooted in peace could suddenly become so formidable. But the answer lies in humanity's forgotten history, centuries of war and conflict, battles fought and won, all stored deep in their collective consciousness, waiting for the right trigger to awaken. As the days go on, the balance of power begins to shift. What started as a swift and decisive invasion is now turning into a drawn-out conflict. Human forces, bolstered by their awakened war instincts, begin to organize into more effective resistance cells. They strike key Zoric positions with surgical precision, disrupting supply lines and communications. The invaders, once so sure of their victory, are now fighting a war they didn't expect, a war against a race of dormant gods. Mara Voss, now fully embracing her newfound abilities, becomes the heart of humanity's resistance. She leads her forces with an almost preternatural sense of timing, reading the battlefield like a seasoned general. What was once a scattered defense becomes a coordinated counterattack. Under her guidance, small groups of humans begin targeting key Zoric installations with precision. Every move is calculated, every strike delivers maximum impact, leaving the invaders increasingly frustrated and vulnerable. Mara is not alone in her transformation. Across the planet, more and more humans are awakening to their dormant war god abilities. Some are soldiers, others civilians who never thought they would hold a weapon. Yet each of them, once awakened, fights with an intensity that leaves the Zoric reeling. The humans, once considered soft and harmless, now strike terror into the hearts of their invaders. What was supposed to be a swift conquest is turning into a nightmare for the Zoric forces. Among those awakened is Dr. Simon Reyes. While not a fighter himself, his mind works with the same intensity as the soldiers on the battlefield. He continues his research, driven by the need to understand what's happening to humanity. He discovers that the awakening process is linked to extreme stress and a deep survival instinct rooted in humanity's long-forgotten past. The more humans are pushed to the brink, the more their primal warlike nature resurfaces. With this knowledge, Reyes works with military strategists to develop a plan that will push more humans to their awakening. He devises a system to simulate extreme battlefield conditions, placing soldiers in high-stress environments to trigger their latent abilities. The results are astounding. Humans who undergo the process emerge stronger, faster, and more strategically capable. Reyes' methods are quickly deployed across the globe, and soon, entire battalions of awakened humans are fighting back against the Zoric. The Zoric, meanwhile, are beginning to falter. Their initial confidence is replaced by confusion and fear. They had never anticipated that humans could fight back like this, and their forces are stretched thin. Commander Rozak, the leader of the invasion, watches in disbelief as his once superior army is picked apart by human forces that seem to grow stronger with each passing day. Reports from his commanders paint a grim picture. Humans are no longer the weak, peaceful race they were believed to be. They are now a force to be reckoned with, and worse, they seem to be tapping into a power that no one fully understands. Rozak, known for his brutal tactics and strategic mind, struggles to maintain control. His forces are demoralized, and desertions begin to spread through the ranks. Zoric soldiers, once proud and unyielding, now hesitate to engage with human forces. They whisper of human war gods, unstoppable warriors who can't be killed and who fight with an otherworldly savagery. Rozak dismisses these rumors as exaggerations, but deep down, he knows there's truth to them. In a desperate bid to regain control, Rozak orders a full-scale assault on Earth's remaining major cities. His plan is simple: overwhelm the human forces with sheer numbers and crush their resistance in one decisive strike. But this time, humanity is ready. Mara Voss and her awakened forces have anticipated the Zoric's move. They know that Rozak is growing desperate, and they use this to their advantage. Mara leads a counteroffensive that targets the Zoric's supply lines and communication hubs. The human forces, now fully awakened and operating at the height of their potential, launch coordinated strikes that cripple the Zoric infrastructure. The invaders, cut off from their reinforcements and supplies, find themselves trapped on a planet that is increasingly hostile to them. Dr. Reyes, working behind the scenes, continues to refine his understanding of the awakening process. He realizes that humanity's power isn't just physical, it's psychological as well. The awakened humans are able to outthink the Zoric at every turn, predicting their movements and anticipating their strategies. What the Zorak had seen as human weakness, empathy, adaptability, and resilience has now become their greatest strength. As the human counteroffensive gains momentum, Rozak is forced to retreat. His forces, once poised to dominate the planet, are now in full retreat. The humans pursue them relentlessly, using every advantage they have gained through their awakening. Mara Voss, at the forefront of the charge, leads her forces with an unwavering determination. She knows that this is the moment where humanity can reclaim its future, not as a peaceful, submissive race, but as a force to be respected and feared. The Zorak, for the first time in their empire's history, are facing defeat at the hands of a species they had considered beneath them. Rozak, seeing the writing on the wall, prepares for one last stand. He knows that his forces are broken, but he refuses to surrender. He orders his remaining troops to hold their ground at all costs, hoping that a final display of Zorak might will intimidate the humans into submission. But the humans are no longer the prey. They are the hunters now, and they close in on the Zorak with a fury that has been building since the invasion began. Mara Voss, leading the charge, confronts Rozak in a final, climactic battle. The Zorak commander, once so sure of his superiority, is no match for the awakened human war god. The battle is over quickly, with Mara delivering the final blow that seals the fate of the Zorak invasion. With Rozak's death, the remaining Zorak forces surrender. Earth is saved, and humanity stands victorious. But this victory comes with a price. The humans, now fully aware of their dormant warlike nature, must confront the reality of what they have become. The galaxy, too, must grapple with the fact that the peaceful race they once knew is now capable of unimaginable violence. The war is over, but the awakening has only just begun. The final battle has come, and humanity, now fully awakened to their latent war god abilities, launches a coordinated assault on the remaining Zorak forces. The invasion that began with overwhelming force has now been reduced to pockets of desperate resistance, but Commander Rozak refuses to surrender. He believes that with one last show of strength, the Zorak can still crush the human spirit and reassert their dominance. But he underestimates just how much humans have changed. Mara Voss leads the charge. She and the other awakened warriors strike with surgical precision, cutting through the Zorak defenses with an ease that was unimaginable only weeks earlier. What once seemed like an invincible enemy now appears vulnerable and fragile. The humans fight with a ferocity and coordination that surprises even themselves. It's as though centuries of forgotten battles are being relived through them, guiding their every move with instinctual brilliance. Rozak, realizing that his forces are being systematically dismantled, makes a last-ditch effort to rally his troops. He orders his warships to focus all firepower on key human strongholds in an attempt to turn the tide. But it's too late. The human forces, now operating as a single, cohesive unit, anticipate his every move. They've learned the Zorak strategies, adapted to their weaknesses, and turned the invaders' own tactics against them. Every Zorak offensive is met with a swift, devastating counterattack, leaving their forces in disarray. As Mara and her forces close in on Rozak's command center, the Zorak soldiers begin to break. Their morale, once bolstered by the belief in their superiority, is now shattered. Rumors of human war gods have spread among the ranks, and fear takes hold. Some Zorak troops attempt to retreat, while others simply lay down their weapons, unwilling to face the fury of the awakened humans. In the midst of the chaos, Rozak stands alone, watching as everything he built crumbles around him. He had underestimated humanity from the very beginning, viewing them as weak and unworthy of consideration. Now, he realizes the depth of his mistake. The humans are not just survivors, they are predators, capable of a level of destruction that even his war-hardened race had not anticipated. His confidence, once unshakable, is now replaced by a grim understanding that this is a fight he cannot win. The final confrontation between Mara Voss and Rozak is swift and brutal. Rozak, desperate and cornered, unleashes everything he has left in a futile attempt to turn the tide. But Mara is beyond anything he can comprehend. Her movements are precise, her attacks calculated, as if guided by the memories of countless wars fought by her ancestors. Rozak, for all his power and experience, is no match for a fully awakened human war god. Within minutes, the battle is over, and Rozak falls, defeated. With the death of their commander, the remaining Zorik forces surrender unconditionally. The invasion is over, and Earth is saved. Humanity has triumphed, but at a cost. The world they knew before the invasion is gone, replaced by a new reality. The humans who fought in this war are no longer the peaceful diplomats and traitors they once were. They have unlocked something ancient and powerful within themselves, and it cannot be forgotten or undone. As the dust settles, the galaxy watches in awe and fear. Word spreads quickly of humanity's transformation from a peaceful race into a force of unimaginable power. The allies who once saw humans as negotiators and mediators now view them with a newfound respect, tempered by fear of what they have become. Enemies, both known and unknown, take note. The lesson is clear: humans are not to be underestimated. Dr. Simon Reyes, now hailed as one of the architects of humanity's victory, reflects on what has been unleashed. The awakening, he realizes, is more than just a response to external threats. It is a fundamental part of who humans are. They had buried their violent past, but it was never truly gone. The instincts for survival, for warfare, had always been there, waiting for the right moment to resurface. And now that they have, the question remains: what will humanity do with this power? For Maravas, the war has changed her in ways she is still coming to understand. She is no longer just a diplomat, no longer the person she was before the invasion. The memories of battle, the instincts that drove her, are still fresh in her mind. She knows that she and the others like her have become something more, something that the galaxy will have to reckon with. The war has ended, but the awakening is permanent. The rest of the galaxy, too, must confront this new reality. The balance of power has shifted. Races that once viewed humanity as inferior now see them as a potential threat. There is uncertainty in the air, uncertainty about how humanity will wield this newfound strength. Will they return to their peaceful ways, or will this awakening push them towards a future defined by conflict? Humanity itself is divided. Some, like Dr. Reyes, believe that the power of the war gods can be controlled, that it can be a force for good in the galaxy. Others fear that it will lead to a new era of violence, that humanity will be unable to resist the pull of their ancient instincts. Mara, though a hero of the war, finds herself at a crossroads. She knows the potential for both creation and destruction that lies within her people, and she understands the weight of the responsibility they now carry. As Earth begins to rebuild, the galaxy watches, waiting to see what humanity's next move will be. They have proven themselves as warriors, as survivors, but the true test is yet to come. Can they harness the power of their awakening without succumbing to the violence that comes with it? Or will the dormant war gods within them continue to shape their future? Only time will tell. But one thing is certain: the galaxy will never look at humans the same way again.